Hi, Joseph. So tell me, what brings you in today?
St Things are kind of going okay, getting closer to the end of this. Just still struggling a bit. Um, Trying to get stuff finished for this school and getting assignments around.
Hmm.
It's coming to the end of the semester and just a lot of I's to be dotted, and there's just a lot of blend over into other areas now at this point, and I just a fair amount of anxiety.
Okay. All right. So you say that it's coming to the end of the semester, right?
Mhm.
And things are starting to get, um, how would you say, are they getting,
More
is it like crunch
detail.
time? Okay.
It's crunch time. It's a bit more detail oriented. There's a lot of parts of different assignments are all kind of coming due at the same time, and
Okay.
just making sure they're all done and submitted where they're supposed to be.
Hmm. Okay. All right. So, anxiety, remind me again, what does that look like for you?
Uh, just it kind of manifests as just a lack of focus. Um, the more
Okay.
important it is, obviously, the higher the stakes are,
Hmm.
and the harder I try to focus to get it done, which results in significantly less focus, which increases the anxiety, which basically eliminates the focus altogether.
Kind of a vicious cycle.
Yeah, once it starts,
Okay.
it's all over.
Okay. So the more important the assignment, the less focus you have, right?
Mm. Yep.
Okay. And then if you try to make yourself focus, that's when you completely lose focus. Is that what I'm hearing?
I wouldn't say I try to make myself focus, but it's just knowing that it's that much more important that I do, and
Okay.
so I try harder just to try to maintain at that point, and that's when it starts to begin to spiral.
Okay. So depending on how important it is, it's when how diminished your anxiety is, correct?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yep. And
Okay.
since
Thank
it's
you
the
for
end of the
clarifying.
semester, everything's important. So
Right. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So tell me about a time when you didn't have this much stress. What did that look like for you?
the other 40 years that I wasn't in school,
Okay.
um, it's I guess focus has always been kind of a thing for me. Um, but it's just that much more intense when I'm since I've been in school, and it really it started pretty close to when I re-enrolled. Well, when I started thinking about re-enrolling, because then it was like, well, what if? And it's but no, I got this. But then as the longer you're in there, it's like things get a bit more real and more
Mhm.
important, and then it starts to manifest. I guess to actually answer your question, um, probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Okay. And what was significant about that?
I think it was just not being in school. Um, there's that much more emphasis on things now, and
Okay.
it's this I did this to make things better. So if it doesn't work, it won't be better, and it was all for naught. And that's a lot, both emotionally and financially.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So you made the decision to go to school to make things better, correct?
Hmm.
And the anxiety is making you feel like if it doesn't go better, then you fill in the blank.
Uh, a lot of disappointment,
Okay.
and then if not this, then what do I do?
If not this. Okay. Do you have an answer for that question?
No.
All right, fair enough. So
So
I'm going to ask you to kind of imagine something with me, okay?
okay,
So imagine if you went to bed tonight and you woke up in the morning and none of these challenges existed. So you had no stress. Well, can't say no stress because we always have stress, right? So you don't have the stress that you have with grad school. Okay. What would be the first clue that something was different? What would you notice first?
probably that I slept all night.
Okay. And what would a good night's sleep do?
Probably just waking up and not feeling tired.
Okay. Does that do anything for your mood?
I think so.
Okay. Is it significant or is it just like a
I
small
think it does
change?
make a change. It's just it's one of those things that's it's so far removed at this point. I don't know that I remember. Um, but it's I mean, with the full night's sleep comes energy and
Okay. Yeah.
probably
Energy.
some
That's a good thing.
additional focus.
Okay. And then what would you notice after that?
Less scheduling entailments.
Okay.
Um, as I pace out my day, I wouldn't have to worry about spending or dedicating time for homework or well, classwork. I lump in there. It's different, but it's the same. Um,
Right.
and just various projects. And at this point, there's worried about internship hours and if those hours are going to affect what I'm doing at my actual job. And
So
just a
that would
lot of,
be diminished, correct?
yeah, just a lot of things that are currently bumping up together wouldn't be at that point.
Okay. Anything else you've noticed?
Just a bit more calm, I think.
Okay. Nice. What would you be doing if you didn't have this big mountain of stress that we call grad school?
Like right away or in time? As right away, I'm
Either.
not sure. Um,
Okay. What about
I
in
would
time then?
even then it's not super concrete. I would definitely be taking some time to just kind of get back to baseline, after being in school for so long.
How would you do that?
Probably a nap. Probably not after waking up though. Um, I'd probably stay as much as this is definitely geared toward finding a different job, doing something I want to do. I would probably take advantage of a little bit of the monotony, um, staying at the position for just. I mean, I'd be looking for something else, but just because I know at this job, I know exactly what's expected. I know what the brain input has to be, and I can
Hmm.
kind of phone that in at this point. So probably take advantage of that just to kind of get back to how things were before school.
Okay.
Um, and then spend some time focusing on what's next and where I want to go. Definitely looking into the school system. So I know I've got a little bit of time before the next school year.
Okay. So do you think one of your options would most likely be a school social worker?
I wouldn't say most likely. I don't know what the odds are at
Okay.
this point. It's definitely something I'm interested in, but
Okay.
if they would have me, as they say.
Right. Definitely depends on that, right?
And and in
Okay.
most schools, there's at the most one. And from what I've experienced in my field placement, people don't typically shuffle around a whole lot. They get in and then they retire. So
Yeah.
turnover is not super high.
Yeah. And a lot of school social workers that I've had contact with, they really like their summers off.
Yep.
Um,
They like the
yeah,
summers
so I
off, the
think
unions,
that's
the
probably
pay.
a big job perk, I guess you'd say, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I heard you talk about your career and about what you would do in that aspect if you didn't have all of the stress. But what about family? What about those kinds of things? What would you be doing then?
Part of the taking advantage of the monotony of the job that I have now is it would afford me the time to spend time with family,
Okay.
um, making up for lost time. I would
Okay.
have PTO at that point. I'd be able to take time to go do things as I wanted at that point.
Okay. What are some things that you'd like to do?
Um, Not super specific. Just the ability to spend that time is important, and I miss that. So having that alone would go a long way. Um, I'm sure I'd find stuff to do. I mean, there's places to go, there's people to see, um,
Hmm.
but just knowing that I didn't have to cut things short or make sure I've got computers with me so I can jump onto something if I need to, or I look forward to that.
Okay. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
There is.
Good. So in the meantime, you have to get over this hump.
Yep.
Um, what are some things that you think that you would be able to do to kind of help manage some of that? Because you're almost done. Um, and you can do anything for a little bit of time, right? Anything hard for a little bit of time.
Hmm.
So getting you from here to there, how do you how can you fit some of these things that you told me that would be present if you woke up and there was no stress? Um, how can you start working towards some of those things?
I'm not sure. I know part of what I do now is just compartmentalizing and then just blocking off time. Um,
Mhm.
and just knowing that when I hit certain time frames, there's just no school. It's just
Right.
other things at that point, and that helps. That's how I've gotten this far. Um,
Mhm.
and I know probably realistically, that's probably what's going to get it through to the end. Um, and I'm not at a point where it seems insurmountable. It's frustrating, and not even really
Yeah.
frustrating, just monotonous, and that's really taken its toll.
Yeah. Well, grad school is one of those things that is not for the weak at heart, right?
Yep.
Okay. All righty. Well, um, I'd like to meet again, so we can continue to work towards this plan of who Joe is going to be after grad school and how we can get him there, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, perfect. So we'll schedule a time for next week and I will see you then.
All right, I can do that.
All right. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.